Maybe a little bit, but we all have it. Thanks so much. I thought I was tripping. He knew I was supposed to.
Call to order this special meeting of the Lawton City Council. If you'll all stand with me, we'll have the invocation by Charles and a pledge of allegiance.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Father, we just thank you for this day. Your grace and your mercy is new every morning. And through that grace and mercy, Father, your compassion and your love, let that be displayed today, Father, through your people as we go forth with this meeting today. Shine upon us, Father, for the city of Lawton, that we can advance it forward. In the name of Jesus today, we pray. Amen.
Call the roll, please.
Hankins, Harris, Chapman, Burke, Hampton, Fortenbaugh, Johnson, Warren.
Present. Business item number 1, hold a public hearing and adopt resolution declaring structures located in Lawton to be dilapidated. Corey.
All right, sir. How are y'all? Feel like I haven't seen you guys in a long time. I know. Well, I got this is my COVID mustache. I grew this just for you guys. Yeah, it's on. Yeah, it's working now. All right. We'll go ahead and start with this first one here, 16 Southwest A Avenue. This one has no active utilities. As you can see from this picture here at the front, it is boarded up, minus this window. When we posted this property, there actually was a squatter at the property. You can see some of the damage here that he's done on the inside, and again right here. Any questions?
Need to open a public hearing on property located at 16 Southwest A Avenue. Anyone wishing to speak on that property, come forward, please.
What's the deal? I want that Cadillac. I never come here. Just when you're ready to talk, you just go ahead. I never come here. I'm Bob Moore. I represent DMK Holdings, Dustin Hillary. He bought this house at the county auction, and he put a new roof on it, and then everything else got tied up with the rest of the problems, and we'll get back on it, and basically asking for a 30-day delay on this deal, and we'll get back working on it.
You do, even if we put it on the D&D, you do understand we're not tearing it down, so it'll still give you the 30 days.
True, okay.
You'll still get that.
Anything else you need to do? We'll start working on it, though, on the deal. He put a new roof on it, which majority of the expenses on the roof, and then he's just gonna strip it out on the inside.
Sir, we'll definitely work with you. If you pull a permit, we'll make sure that we are communicating with you, and we don't move forward with the demo until
Fair enough.
after the period is over.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Have you secured it in the meantime?
They're supposed to. I haven't been by there since.
Yeah, because we have a problem with things like this burning down, so I would secure it.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
With that said, I move to approve a resolution of this.
I got to close the
Oh, I'm
public
sorry.
hearing. Anyone else wishing to speak on this? Council, is there anybody? That said, I'll close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
I move to approve a resolution declaring this structure on this property dilapidated and nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof set forth in the resolution.
Got a second? Second. Motion and a second. All in favor? I'm sorry, public call the roll. It's been a while since I did this.
Hankins. Harris. Chapman. Burke. Hampton. Fortenbaugh. Warren.
Hold a public hearing, property located at 40 Northeast 25th Street, trailer number 81. Cool.
All right, 40 Northeast 25th Street, number 81. This is a fire damaged structure. We were actually called out here after the fire department put this one out. It's my understanding that a kid set fire to this one. It is completely boarded up now. They have secured the property since the fire. But again, inside it's got extreme fire damage. Any questions?
Seeing no questions, is there anyone here that would like to speak on 40 Northeast 25th Street, trailer number 81? Oh, open the public hearing. And is there anyone here that would like to speak on 40 Northeast 25th Street, trailer number 81? Seeing no one, I'd close the public hearing, and I would entertain a motion. You gotta get me a sheet.
Move to approve a resolution declaring the structures on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof set forth in the resolution.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. Call a roll, please.
Hankins. Harris. Chapman. Burke. Hampton. Fortenbaugh. Warren.
Hold a public hearing on property located at 110 Northwest Morford Drive.
All right. 110 Northwest Morford Drive. This one does have an active water account. You guys did see this one back in July of 21. We did not declare it dilapidated. We went ahead and let him try to fix it up. Since then, I'm told he's done a little bit of work on the inside, but as you can see outside, it still needs a lot of work. We still receive a lot of phone calls on this one for unsecure. A lot of people still break in the shed. You'll find shopping carts around there a lot. As you can see, the roof's still in disrepair. They did remove a porch here, but there's still a lot of repair that needs to be done. This was a board that we had to put up because the structure was unsecure, so the city did put this board up. Any questions?
Seeing no questions for Corey, I'll open a public hearing on 110 Northwest Morford Drive. Anyone here to speak on that property?
Ladies, gentlemen, members of council, my name is Austin Raybon. I represent the owner of this property, DJP Homes Buyers LLC. I have some pictures that have been updated to show that there has been significant improvement on this property. It's my understanding that the roof does need to be replaced, and that's in the works. We have also had windows ordered. They're going to be set to be here on September 30th, at which time we expect those to be installed. As you know, COVID affected a lot of us, including the construction operations and business. That's been one of the significant delays in this matter, is that we can't get materials. Materials have been ordered. They're on their way. They should be put in place soon. The outside of the structure will be secured. If council would like to look at these pictures, I'll be happy to pass these around. I also have a packet showing things that have been done and things that are going to be done. Security systems installed. We're working on getting cameras on the outside on all four corners of the house to make sure that there are no issues with squatters or anything like that. I think it's been over a year since a squatter's been in the property, but it has been secured. There is an issue with a property at 104, I believe, where it's a vacant lot or vacant property, and that's where a lot of the activity is happening, and it's just kind of pouring over, but this property has been secured.
Any questions or comments?
Yeah, I have a comment on this property. It is in Ward 5. I did talk to the owner prior to the meeting and kind of help him to understand the situation that we're in. Fortunately, we live in a city, and there's other people that we have to live in the community. And I'm the one that gave the continuance. It's been a year, over a year, I think. And in that time period, I have visited there several times. There's been vagrants and other things there. There was a guy cutting the grass one day, and he said someone broke into the house. But more importantly is that I've been getting complaints from citizens in the area that are neighbors. And the owner said that they had the roof to do and a couple of other things. I had talked to Corey, and I guess there's been a communication problem between him and the owner as to him staying up on this. Putting it on the D&D will give him, I told him putting it on the D&D will give him the ability still to finish, as long as he's in contact with Corey and stays up on the improvements with Corey. These problem areas I can't tell you how many fires I've had in my ward because of houses that are unsecure. And I visited one today that we're going to be speaking about here shortly, and there was like the side of the neighbor's house was like scorched, and that really troubles me on the public safety side. And so I think that considering, Corey, can I ask you a question? Again, just to clarify, when we put these houses on D&D, they still pull the permit every 30 days, and as long as they're making improvements, then and they're checking with you, then you'll give them a continuance to finish the house, correct?
Correct. If we put it on the list and we declare it dilapidated, he'll have 6 weeks, 30 business days to pull that remodel permit, and then he can finish remodeling this house. If it's going to take more than 30 days, which is what those permits are good for, he can renew every 30 days as long as he's making progress.
Okay, and he sent me pictures, and probably everybody else, pictures of that, and obviously, if those pictures are true, then he is making progress, and he's almost finished, and I'm sure that within the 30 days or so, or even if it's 60 days, he'll be able to finish that.
If I may, Mr. Hampton, there's an existing permit out there that's set to expire on September 5th. I believe that this is premature to begin with because he does have an existing permit. We're asking for an extension on that permit. It's a little bit more complicated when you're having to, if it's put on the D&D list and we have to reapply, we have to get the 30 days, then we have to keep reapplying. And I think it's just 2 times. I may be incorrect on that. I didn't pull that particular code, but I think you get the first 30 days and you get 2 more extensions after that. As I've explained, the windows aren't coming in until September 30th to begin with, so that's past the 30 days. We're really just asking for 3 months. 3 months, the structure, there'll be a new roof, there'll be new windows, the outside's going to be secured with the new windows, new doors, and once that's done, this isn't going to be an issue anymore. So we're just asking for
Yeah, let me ask Corey, so you said do they have an existing permit on this?
I was told yes. She says yes.
Okay.
I know they've applied for a new permit as of last week.
So when we put it on the D&D, then he'll have to get a permit after that one ends, or will he need to start the 30-day and buy another permit?
He will not be able to extend off this.
Yeah, he'll have to get a new permit because it's a different set of requirements. He's going to have to get all his electrical, plumbing, and mechanical inspected with that dilapidation permit.
And that hasn't been inspected yet?
The only thing that he's had inspection-wise, the last I checked, which was Fridays, he had temporary power. That's it.
Corey, what is the definition of making progress in this case?
Making progress would be significant improvements such as a roof, the windows. We do know that a lot of people are having a hard time getting things, in particular windows. So we are aware of that, and a lot of people just show us receipts, so we know, well, the windows are ordered. Some people there's one guy, I think 6 months is when his estimated date is, but they're working on other things in the meantime. Inspections, once they're declared, your electrical rough-in, your plumbing rough-in, that kind of stuff, that all would be progress. And of course, just basic maintenance of the outside of the property, such as mowing, keeping it clear of debris, keeping the structure secure, etc.
And that's all been done.
I just drove by it, and it does look like he's done some, improve the outside a little bit. So what status is it in on the inside as far as plumbing and electrical, do you know?
As far as the inside, I know the kitchen's been remodeled as far as new countertops, new cabinets, the sheetrock, there's been some drywall. I have a picture of that if you'd like to see that, to kind of show you just a couple of things on the inside.
Corey, can I ask you another question pertaining to all the pictures that I got? You obviously brought this back to us. So over the year, has there not been communication with you on getting the inspections done?
No.
When did this work start then?
A lot of work started right after last July when we took it to council. They did a lot of work really quick. They cleaned up a lot of the outside. And I know since we've posted the property and sent him notice, he's really ramped up his efforts and started doing a lot since then as well. So that'd be about August 2nd.
Yeah, once we start the process, though, we can't stop it, is what I understand.
Yeah,
right?
once it's declared, it's full go. He'll have to make sure he gets that CO. I mean, he'll have to do everything by code.
Okay, what about vagants and transients in and around this property? Has there been an issue, and have you been getting calls about that?
We get calls all the time on that. There's a few houses right in that area that have a lot of issues with transients. This is one of them. When we were here, there's actually a shopping cart full of stuff in the back by the door that we had to board up. So this is a big issue here. I know the shed's been broken into. We had to send letters for unsecure for that shed because it was unsecure. Vagrants were getting in there and staying in there. Vagrants are a really big issue with this property.
Okay, thank you.
So what we've done to address those issues is there is a security system that has been installed. Cameras are in the process of being installed on all four corners of the house, which will allow us to be able to see the activity in the neighborhood to address those issues if it does come up. This property is not too far from Walmart in that area. There's a lot of traffic walking by there. It's just a high traffic area, and it's not the only vacant house on that block. I think 104 is also vacant, and there's a lot of activity there. This property is being continually worked on. There's workers there. That what happens at night, none of us can control, even on our own houses, unless this property. But as things come up, as there is trash in the back, it's being picked up. So my client has taken significant measures to secure his property. It's unfortunate that we live in a time where supplies are just hard to get. And that's kind of where we are right now. But windows, I've got a receipt showing that they're going to be shipped September 30th. Now, if that happens or not, I don't know. but that's what the receipt says it'll be shipped by. So we just asked for 3 more months. Let's revisit this in 3 months, give us an opportunity, get the roof replaced, get the windows installed.
Yeah, where does the owner live?
Florida.
In Florida?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone else that'd like to speak on this property? Come on down.
Is it this microphone? Thank you. My name is Patricia Reffett. I live at 2108 Northwest Lake, about 3 doors down from this home. My back door faces the back of this property, and I addressed you all a year ago about this property. I've spoken to Councilman Hampton. He's been very cooperative, and he's followed up on everything that we've talked about. I received a FedEx letter last week from a gentleman whose last name is Pinnell. I assume that that's your client. Didn't call him back till today because I actually thought he was trying to sell me a security system. He wanted to assure us that he's been working with other neighbors in the area to increase the security in our homes. He says nothing about repairing the property that he owns. He wants to secure the property by putting a camera or something on my house to look at his property so when his phone dings, he can call the police or whatever. We asked you last year to put this on the D&D list and follow through. After you all gave him a continuance, we saw a green pickup in that driveway for a few days. He's had a year for a tax write-off, in my opinion, with no action. You published it in the Lawton Constitution of the action you wanted to take. The green pickup shows back up, and apparently some work has been done. I think he's had adequate time to complete his responsibilities as a homeowner. I own a home that's currently vacant, and I'm spending bucks to get it repaired because of a bad renter so that I can get it rented again. I asked him what his plans were for the property. He said he thought his brother, who was an aeronautical engineer, was going to come and live in it. I have no idea if he lives in the area, but I'm real particular with my renters, he says. That's my issue. It's a danger to the community, and I agree that the house across the alley is just as bad, but he's had a year to fix this problem, and he has not done it. So please consider putting it on the D&D list so perhaps he will move faster than he has in the last year. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
My name's Rick Hoskins. I live at 2111 Northwest Lake, which is just around the corner down the street. And like Pat just told you, they've had a year to do this. They've worked on this house very little. Now, like he says, they continuously work on it. Well, I go by this house every day. And the last 2 weeks, you might see a truck here 2 or 3 hours sometime in the morning. But up until then, they probably hadn't worked on that house in 3 months. I don't know if, I guess, is Jamie still the contractor? The same one that originally was here last year when it all started? Well, I know Jamie does a lot of work for, I think it's HUD or some of this city property that they remodel houses, and this is the bottom of his list as far as working on anything. And like I said, that's what it looks like now. That's what it looked like a year ago. The boards on the front, I think, as you can see, they painted the rotten boards. Well, now he's probably going to show you a picture that they replaced some of those boards. They did this in the last 2 or 3 days. And like Pat said, they've had a year to do this. And it's the bottom of their list as far as getting anything done. And like the man said, there's lots of traffic. We get people pushing Walmart carts up and down the street, gathering up all the junk they can gather up. We've got 3 houses right there. That's one of them that need to be torn down because they won't fix them.
Thank you.
Randy.
Anyone else?
Hi, I'm Debbie Langford. I live at 2105 Northwest Arlington, which is on the other side of this house. You give them a year from last July. He's asking for 3 more months. That's 15 months to get a house ready. I agree, supply and demand is out there. But come on. And you talk about the high traffic area because we're in Walmart. I guarantee you don't have this in Waterford, and they're closer to Walmart. They're a lot closer to Walmart than we are at Sheridan and Gore. They don't have this in Waterford. They don't have this behind the hospital very often. And that's about the same distance if you want to go distance for distance. I'm asking you to tear it down. We're asking you to tear down 3 of them. He keeps mentioning one, I think it's 110 Morford, which is adjacent. That's going to be one. I've watched them set fires in the house last winter with fence and tables to stay warm. So if we can't take care of, I mean, y'all don't live by it, we do. So come on, help us out. I've been in my house 38 years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, the city really wants habitable, affordable housing for residents. We really want that. So anytime that one can be redone and provide a home for someone, that's really what we want. So we're not excited about tearing down houses, but a year is a long time. And when we get to Ward 1, the ones in my ward, people trying to have a nice house right next door to these is not fair. And so I would say a year has gone by. I would, has there been a motion made yet?
We're in public hearing.
Okay.
Austin, I lost you. I have a question. I have spoken with Dr. Pennell on the phone just a few days ago, and what concerns me is I'm hearing 2 stories. I'm hearing what he told me, and then I'm hearing about the windows won't be shipped till September, whatever. And he told me that the windows were going to be in this week. He told me the security cameras were already up. And I have a real problem with that, just like Miss Councilwoman Hankins was talking about.
Sure.
I tried to explain to him, we're trying to make this city more attractive and to clean up and have some pride in your property. And this just, I mean, you listen to the people who are living around this house.
I agree, Ms. Chapman. The issue that we had before is really just a jumping through hoops issue, because ultimately we're asking for 3 months. He's going to get 30 days. He's going to do progress. He's going to get another 30 days and another 30 days, and right there we're at 3 months. But that's going to require him to apply for a new permit. He can't do anything until he gets that new permit. I don't know what hoops he's going to have to jump in to get those. Rather, we would just like to have a 3-month extension on top of the existing permit, which, by the way, does not expire until the 5th of September, and today is the 16th of August, so technically he has 3 more weeks under this existing permit. All we're asking is for a 3-month extension from September 5th on. Otherwise, ultimately what we want to do is we want to put his feet to the fire and say, hey, we got to get this moving on. So 3-month extension is going to potentially do the same thing as a 30-day extension again and again and again.
Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt you on this. Just ask Corey something. Corey, the 30 days, if he's showing progress on the D&D permit, the 30 days after, and he's showing progress, he can get an extension on that. Is that correct?
Correct.
So it's not just a 30 days and then we tear it down. As long as he's showing...
That's my point, is that we have 30 days and he's going to reapply for an extension and another extension, whereas we already have an existing permit which is not expired. We're just asking to piggyback on that for...
Yeah, I misunderstood you. Go ahead.
Or we can do 30 days and then ask for another extension on that same one for 30 days. But to go on the D&D list is going to require him to apply for a whole new permit when really all we're talking about is windows. The house isn't going to be torn down. This guy's put $20,000 into this property. It's not going to be torn down. So if the goal of the neighborhood is to have this house torn down, that's not going to happen. We don't want to discourage people from coming in and buying properties that, not due to any of his fault, looks like this. And so he's come in, he's trying to make this property look good. What a bad time to buy property. Don't buy it now, because COVID, although we're not in a crisis, we're going to feel the impact of this for probably a couple more years. I tried to build a pool, took 1.5 years. So we're just in a weird time right now where you can't get supplies. But we've got windows ordered. They're not the ones he wanted, but he went to Home Depot, ordered the windows, and they're going to be here September 30th. I have a receipt for that. To address your concerns about security, he has a security system installed. We're trying to get the security cameras installed now. And we hope those will be in. Give us 3 months. Give us an opportunity to get this thing where you all are satisfied. We get the new roof, the new windows. It's going to be secure. Then he can start focusing on the inside and getting that cleaned up, and we can get someone moved in here, a nice person to move in here and get this done. Thank you, Council.
If there's no one else, I'll close. Oh, got one more.
Hello, my name is Jean Milner. I work for the realtor that sold him the property to begin with. When he bought it, he knew the condition of it, and COVID came, and we all know what happened when COVID came. Everything shut down. I know from working in this industry where properties are being remodeled and redone, it doesn't, glass, yes, windows are terrible. Okay, I know. It's very hard to get them, but so are other building materials and supplies. I can list a dozen houses off the top of my head that we've got orders in and trying to get repairs done before the house even closes, and we still have to extend it 2, 3, 4, 5. We even extend them 2 months sometimes to get repairs done. I do have a copy of the building permit if somebody needs to see it, which is good till September 5th. I also have with me receipts from the utilities are currently on for both water and electric. I also have here, we are not the property manager. Don't think that. David asked me to pull some records, and this is what we did. I do have a copy of the Home Depot receipt where the windows were ordered and they are supposed to be shipped. I talked to a friend of ours that does most of our glass. I work for Remax Professionals, one of the realtors there. Lawton Glass, Mark over there, and they're having hard times getting windows, for most houses. So you have to take a temporary measure, which is boarding the thing up. Is it a professional? Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Anybody can break off a piece of wood and climb in something. You can only do the best that you can do. Granted, he probably had a little more time, but then we had winter, everybody can come up with an excuse. Everybody can. Everybody can come up with a reason why they want something destroyed. It's human nature. But the bottom line is, he is trying. We have been trying to get things for him to set up contractors and things for them. After speaking to him yesterday for the umpteenth time over the past month and a half, I should say, he's actually trying to find a decent crew that will go out there and stay out there. A lot of people will not, they'll hire onto crews and then they leave and you're left with nobody. He's trying to find a reputable one so that he can get the rest of the work done properly and effectively. Thank you.
If I could just say something, I've been here a couple of years and almost 15 by this time, but every time that we have put something off and not put it on the D&D, it comes back. And that's just the way it works. And once we put it on the D&D, it seems to make everybody light a little fire under their tail, and they seem to get things done. Are we wanting to tear your property down? No, we don't want to. It costs money. We're going to have to file a lien. We're going to have to do all these things that we don't want to do. Do we want you to fix it? Yes, fix it. Get the permit. If in 30 days you still don't have the windows, you can take another 30 days. And if you don't have the windows, you can get another 30 days. We're going to work with you as long as you provide receipts. I know Corey. He's not wanting to tear this down. We don't want to. We don't have enough money to tear down every house that's ugly right now. So that's why we're doing this. We're hoping that you will fix them. And so my story is, and I've told council this a million times, I don't ever vote to put something off another, because everybody will tell us, I have it ready in 60 days. Here we are a year later, and we're in the same situation. So that's my take on it, always has been. And once we do it, I don't ever see those come back because they get the permit and they get it fixed.
Is there anyone that hasn't spoken on this issue yet? I'll give you just a short bit because I think you used your 3 minutes last time.
Well, like I said, I'm totally against this 3-month extension because, like I said, they've had a year and they didn't work on it until they got a notice. Just like this time, it come up again, and then they start working on it a little bit. So put it on the D&D list. If they can show they're going to fix this house and they make progress every 30 days, give them an extension. I don't want a vacant lot sitting there because I have to wind up mowing it myself probably because I turn them into the city and all the time, and I wind up mowing them. So, you know.
Well,
Right.
I think the biggest...
Put it on D&D list and then go from there.
The biggest thing to remember, I think, on this is a procedural deal. If we just allow the 3 months to continue on and then there is no progress or something happens, then we have to go through this process completely over again. Whereas if it is put on the D&D, we don't have to go through this anymore. Either the property is brought up to code and everybody's happy, or it's not, and then D&D takes place. That being said, if there's no one else, I'll close the public hearing, and what's the pleasure of the council?
Yeah, Randy, this is in Ward 5. We have been dealing I've been dealing with some of my constituents. I think there was some suffering on their part over the last year. Security is just a really, really big thing. We're happy that there is some work being done on this house and that it will get fixed. But as I said earlier, talking to the owner, he said he has only a few things left to do. Corey said that he had some work going on. So I think that the 30 days that he gets with the D&D and any extension to finish this is probably the proper thing to do right now. And with that, I approve resolution declaring this structure and property dilapidated public nuisance and authorize abatement thereof set forth in the resolution.
I've got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins. Yes. Harris.
Yes.
Chapman. Yes. Burke.
Yes.
Hampton.
Yes.
Fortenbaugh. Johnson, would you like to vote? Or would you? Okay. Warren.
Yes. Moving on. Oh, I'm sorry. That's, how many of us is there? So there was only 7. 7 in favor and passed 7-0. Let's move on to 212 Northwest Columbia Avenue.
All right. 212 Northwest Columbia Avenue has inactive water account. As you can see here from this picture, the structure has quite a bit of roof damage. This property is zoned commercial. There is a shop on the backside of this property that is in good condition. We're specifically looking at this structure right here. As you can see here, there's holes in the roof, a lot of deterioration, and again here, this is another one that we'll get some calls on. A lot of illegal dumping goes on at the front of this one. It does get cleaned up, but we do have some issues that happen here. Any questions?
So Corey, like some of the other properties, just the front side of this property, I went by and took a look at it, and they're going to leave the other building in the back intact.
Yeah, this is just going to be the front structure on this one.
No further questions from the council. I'll open a public hearing on property located at 212 Northwest Columbia Avenue. Anyone liking to speak on this property, come forward.
I'm Steve Hoffman. That's been our property, me and my brother and my dad's for 40 years. And our shop is in the back. They're deceased. I'm the only one left. And the house needs a lot of work. I'm not lying. But I've got a couple of options. I got one guy that might want to buy it. And then I could tear it down myself. Or if it goes on too long, I think you told me that it would probably double in price, right, from the fees and all the other that goes up.
Yeah.
So I'm leaning toward, tearing it down. But I would like some time to make up my mind because it's kind of jumped up on me real quick like. Neighborhood Services sent me a letter in May or June, something like that, because there was half of a chair in the front yard. And so I fixed that. And at that time, I asked Neighborhood Services, it wasn't you, it was somebody else, but is everything okay there at that property besides that? And they said yes. So I thought I was in the clear until I find this out from a friend that it was in the paper. And this way, I have not even got a letter on it to my mailing address. But they have my mailing address because that's what's on this piece of paper that is posted on that door. So I'm asking for a little time to make up my mind whether to sell it or tear it down myself. And I have to find money to do that. So that's all I got to say.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak on this property? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. And what's the pleasure of the council?
Corey, what is what the price of the demo permit is? How much?
It's based off the cost of the project. It's typically around $80 or $90.
How much? What'd you say?
She said it's based off the project, typically around $80 or $90.
And then he has 6 weeks before he needs to get that. So is that correct?
He'll have 30 business days to pull that demo permit. And if he does decide to demo it himself as an incentive, the city will give 30% off at the landfill.
Yes, sir. I'm not sure, sir. I'm not sure that you're aware that you'll have some time, even if we put it on the D&D, to give it some thought and make a decision about it. What's that? A little over 2 months, I think. And then if you do,
How does that work? Does it go on D&D today or do?
it'll go on the D&D today. But you have how long, Corey, before he needs to pull that permit?
30 business days.
So you'll have 30 days, sir, before you need to pull a permit. And if you pull a permit and decide to do something, that'll be another 30 days. So 60 days. And with that said, I move to approve a resolution declaring this structure on this property dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
I've got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins? Harris? Yes. Chapman? Burke? Yes. Hampton? Yes. Fortenbaugh? Yes. Johnson? Warren?
Yes. Moving on to 401 Southwest Jefferson Avenue.
Okay. 401 Southwest Jefferson Avenue, inactive water. As you can see here from this photo, we got some issues with windows being boarded up. This one actually was open at the time these photos were taken. Here's another one boarded up, and another one boarded up. We do get a lot of calls on this one. This is on the corner, right there on 4th and Jefferson. And we do get a lot of calls about people going in and out of the windows. Any questions?
Corey, did we see this already? Seems like we saw this with a car underneath the carport once.
No, that we haven't brought this one yet.
It just looked familiar. Okay, I'm going to open the public hearing. Property located at 401 Southwest Jefferson Avenue. Anyone wishing to speak on that property, come forward, please. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the council?
I spoke with the owner, and I think Corey, I reached out to you about this. I think this is the one. She told me that she was notified. I guess there were some discrepancy in who the actual owner was. It kind of changed hands. So what I'm going to do so that we can kind of move through some of this is to move to continue the public hearing in this matter to September the 27th at our next standing meeting.
We've got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins?
Oh.
Harris?
Yes.
Chapman? Burke?
No.
Hampton?
Yes.
Fortenbaugh?
Yes.
Johnson? Warren?
No. Okay, moving on. Oh, I'm sorry. That was 7-1. No, 6-2. I don't have it in front of me. I have to keep track now. Okay. 508 Northwest 2nd Street.
All right, 508 Northwest 2nd Street. This property is right on the corner of 2nd and Ferris. I'm sure you guys all see this one as you come into town. As you can see here, this property is quite dilapidated. A lot of decay going on here. This is a little cover area. It looks like maybe at one point it was a car lot or maybe like a Wayne's sort of. See, I'm not there. It's been that's pre-mustache. I can't. So a lot of decay going on here. As you can see, it is boarded up. We do frequent this property a lot. A lot of people do break in to this property, and we are constantly mowing the backside of this property. Right against the property, there's a lot of grass that grows up. As you can see here from this photo, there's beautiful pots on 2nd Street next to this really tall grass. This one's been a big problem, and we get a lot of calls on this one as well. Any questions?
Thank you. Open the public hearing for 508 Northwest 2nd Street. Is there anyone here to speak on this property? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
I move to approve a resolution declaring this structure on this property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins? Harris? Chapman? Burke? Hampton? Fortenbaugh? Johnson? Moran?
Yes. It was approved 8-0. Move on to 515 Southwest Summit Avenue.
Okay. 515 Southwest Summit Avenue. It has an inactive water account. It's on the corner right there on 6th and Summit. Get a lot of calls about this one as well. It's been vacant for some time. It's very overgrown, a lot of decay, roof issues. As you can see here, you got siding falling off. This one was unsecure at the time. I tried to snap a quick picture, but I saw somebody scooting through the living room, so I backed out real quick. Any questions?
Seeing no questions from council, I'll open a public hearing on property located at 515 Southwest Summit Avenue. Anyone wishing to speak on this property, please come forward. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
This is another structure that's in Ward 5. Just to let the citizens know, all of these structures that end up in Ward 5, I physically go by these properties and take a look at them. Even if you haven't contacted me, I do take a look to see the state of this. This house is in really total disrepair at this point. And with that said, I move to approve a resolution declaring this structure and property dilapidated and a public nuisance and authorize abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
We've got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins? Harris? Chapman? Burke? Hampton? Fortenbaugh? Johnson? Moran?
Yes. Moving on to 707 Southwest, I'm sorry. Motion carried 8-0. Move on to 707 Southwest Jefferson Avenue.
Okay, 707 Southwest Jefferson Avenue. It actually does have active water right now and power. This picture was taken August 2nd. Since these photos were taken, he has done a lot of work. There is a garage door now. It has been painted. He's replaced a lot of the doors and windows. And you actually can't even recognize it right now. So in the last couple of weeks, he's actually done quite a bit of work on this property. It doesn't even look like the same property. Any questions?
If there's no questions from council, I'll open a public hearing on property located at 707 Southwest Jefferson Avenue. Anyone wishing to speak on this property, come forward.
I'm Brian Morris. I own that property. Since the notice, we've, like I said, put a new OSB's up on the garage door. There is a garage door there, but we put a new one up. And then we replaced the siding on the front and repainted it and we didn't put new doors and windows on, but we did fix what was there. And it does have current water and does have electric. And so I'm trying to figure out how it even made the list. It's been taken care of. It's never been in any violation that I know of or been informed of.
You do understand, though, that if the council does put this on the D&D, that you have an opportunity to pull a permit to do any other repairs that need to be done?
There's not any other repairs that need to be done. I went to get a permit to do repairs for siding and the roof. I put a new roof on it 2 months ago, and that doesn't require a permit. They tried to charge me at that time $333 to get a permit for something that I didn't even need a permit for.
Corey, when was notice mailed out on this property?
We mailed out notice August 2nd. We published it in the paper August 2nd, and we posted the properties on August 2nd.
I do have pictures of what it looks like today if you want to.
Well, I think the issue, and I don't know if it's what the issue is or not, but the problem is there were deficiencies. The city noted those deficiencies and posted it and started the process.
The deficiency was there was plywood over the garage door. There's a garage door there. I just did that to help secure the bottom of it.
And now we got to figure out a way to get it out of.
Yeah, the repairs have been done.
It needs to be inspected, I guess. Is that what we need to do, Corey?
Yeah, we can do an inspection, and Charlotte can she can send out some inspectors as well. I haven't seen it in person yet. He does have photos here, and it doesn't look like this at all anymore.
And this is, I think, legal maybe, but can we go ahead and put this on the D&D and then do the inspections and not charge him for a permit if it passes inspection? I mean, because, right now, we don't know if it passes inspection.
Well, actually,
What inspection?
I think most of what was, I don't know if this is the time or after we close this, okay. I physically went to that house and I saw the house, and it does, you wouldn't, if you put what it looks like now next to this picture, you wouldn't recognize it. There's a garage door there, they've painted, put siding, there's a new roof on there. I think the other violations were trees and bushes, that's all gone. I mean, everything that.
They're not even mine, the trees and bushes that
They were
were
the
there.
neighbors, but he took care of it. So I physically saw it. It's in really good condition. I have pictures as well.
Do you have a picture of it, sir, that we can look at? And Corey, what was the list of all of the violations? Can you read those off as council is looking at the pictures?
Sure. Yeah, so there was multiple violations here. So the garage was boarded up. As you can see in those pictures, he's since unboarded it. You have decay, lack of protective treatment with the siding. That's since been changed and fixed. And then if you flip through some of these pictures, you'll see that in other areas like the back door, there's a close-up of the garage. And I think this one shows the best of like the siding and issues like that. But if you look at those pictures, again, side by side, from August 2nd to when these photos were taken, you can't, they don't even look like the same house.
Corey, has he fixed up the things that you issued?
Yeah, as far as on the outside goes, he's fixed everything that we would require him to fix. As far as internal goes, I've never been in the house personally, so I'm not sure what the inside looks, but as far as external, it looks fine.
We don't have any internal deficiencies that we knew of to begin with. Okay.
Not that we know of, no.
So it seems to me that he's met the requirements and we should drop this.
This is what we want. We want people to fix their stuff up. And if it's fixed up, I mean, Mr. Morris did what we want everybody else to do.
I'm going to, if there's nothing else, I'm going to close the public hearing, and I think that we just need to inspect it and, make sure that it's okay. As far as getting it off of this list, we just take no action, right?
We can take no action, strike it.
Okay, we can just strike it. Strike the address 707 Southwest Jefferson Avenue and direct staff to just drop by and externally inspect it.
Mayor Pro Tem, a point of order. I don't think you can strike an item after you've already talked about it.
That's true.
Just no act.
Thank you, Mr. Morris.
Moving on to 709 Northwest Dearborn Avenue.
All right, 709 Northwest Dearborn Avenue, inactive water account. As you can see here, it's been boarded up. The city boarded this structure up. We do get a lot of calls on this with tall grass and vagrants as well. Here's another one of this is a picture of the front boarded up. This is a side window that we had to board up. There are holes in the roof, a lot of decay. And again, here's some more holes and decay. A lot of water damage on this property as well. Any questions?
No questions from the council. I would open a public hearing on the property located at 709 Northwest Dearborn Avenue. Anyone having the need to speak on this property, please come forward. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
Another house in Ward 5, in inspecting this house, there's vagrants that probably have been in it, and again, with the fires and that have been going on in our city, I think this is important. And with that, I move to approve a resolution declaring this structure on this property dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
I've got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins. Harris. Chapman. Burke. Hampton. Fortenbaugh. Johnson. Warren.
Yes. That passed 8-0. Moving on to item address 1005 Southwest I Avenue. Corey.
Okay. Are we skipping McKinley?
Oh. I'm sorry. 715 Southwest McKinley Avenue.
Okay. 715 Southwest McKinley Avenue, inactive water account. As you can see here from this picture, we've got a lot of damage, a lot of decay going on out front. As you can see here, again, more decay, lack of skirting. This is a trailer. I did have a window open. The wind was blowing that curtain out the window, but you can also see more decay and more boarded up entryways there. Any questions?
Seeing no questions from the council, is there anyone, I'd open a public hearing on the property located at 715 Southwest McKinley Avenue. Is there anyone here to speak on this property? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council, what is your pleasure?
Move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins. Harris. Chapman. Burke. Hampton. Fortenbaugh. Johnson. Warren.
Yes. That motion was approved, 8-0. Address 1005 Southwest I Avenue.
Right. 10,005 Southwest I, inactive water account. As you can see here from this picture, it is boarded up. It does have a lot of decay. We do receive a lot of complaints on this one about vagrants. As you can see here, it was unsecure at the time. You can see that they've been staying in here and kind of set up a little makeshift bedroom. Any questions?
Seeing none from the council, open a public hearing, 1005 Southwest I Avenue. Is there anyone here to speak on this property? Seeing no one, I close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
I move to approve a resolution declaring this structure on this property dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Second.
We've got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins. Harris. Chapman. Burke. Hampton. Fortenbaugh. Johnson. Warren.
Yes. That motion passed 8-0. Move on to 1119 Northwest 31st.
All right. 1119 Northwest 31st. This property has an inactive water account. This is one that we get a lot of calls on, especially over the last couple of months. As you can see here, there's a little bit of graffiti on the outside on the garage door. Same with the front here. A lot of decay going on up underneath the porch and other areas of the property. Again, backside graffiti. You can see the window on the door has been boarded up. And again, we receive multiple complaints on this property, especially over the last couple of months on vagrants. Any questions?
Seeing none, I'll open the public hearing for 1119 Northwest 31st. Is there anyone here to speak on this property? Seeing no one, close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
Council, I move to approve a resolution declaring the structures on this property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Call a roll, please.
Hankins. Harris.
Yes.
Chapman.
Yes.
Burke.
Yes.
Hampton. Fortenbaugh. Johnson. Warren.
Yes. It's approved 8-0. Move on to 1218 Northwest Irwin Avenue.
All right, 1218 Northwest Irwin Avenue, inactive water account. This is a fire damaged structure. As you can see here, there's a lot of decay going on the outside. And this picture is taken of the inside through those slats on the front. It suffered significant fire damage throughout. And here's a little more pictures of that fire damage. Any questions?
Seeing no questions from council, I'll open a public hearing. 1218 Northwest Irwin Avenue. Anyone here to speak on that property, please come forward. Seeing no one, close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
I move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Call a roll, please.
Hankins. Harris.
Yes.
Chapman.
Yes.
Burke.
Yes.
Hampton.
Yes.
Fortenbaugh. Johnson. Warren.
Yes. Approved 8-0. Move on to 1304 Southwest Oklahoma Avenue.
All right, 1304 Southwest Oklahoma Avenue has an inactive water account. It is a completely boarded up structure, as you can see here from pictures of the front. There is a little bit of decay going on up around the roof. Did have this one unsecure location on the backside, but again, you can see the rest of the structure is completely boarded up. We do get calls on this one time for every once in a while for grass, but not that much. Mainly for the issues we have with the International Property Maintenance Code on this one. Any questions?
Seeing none, open a public hearing on property located at 1304 Southwest Oklahoma Avenue. Anyone having the desire to speak on this issue, please come forward. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
Move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion and a second. Call a roll.
Hankins. Harris.
Yes.
Burke.
Yes.
Hampton.
Yes.
Fortenbaugh. Johnson. Warren.
Yes. Motion was approved 8-0. Move on to 1401 Southwest. Oh, I'm sorry, 7-0. 1401 Southwest Oklahoma Avenue.
All right, 1401 Southwest Oklahoma Avenue is inactive water account. It is a boarded up structure with a lot of decay. As you can see here, this some lack of protective treatment, paint's peeling off, some general decay. The back door, the boards were ripped off. You can see someone has made entry. And again, it's just the same on the side. I was told that this person has hired Joe's Backhoe to demolish it, but there's been no permit applied for so far. Any questions?
Seeing none, open a public hearing, 1401 Southwest Oklahoma Avenue. Anyone having a desire to speak on this issue, please come forward. Please state your name and address.
Betsy Batty, 1001 Southeast 45th Street.
Thank you.
It is true, but I'm at their mercy whenever they can get around to do that. However, their property has been up for sale for over 2 years, so I'm not interested in it. If you want me to take the structure down, I will, but it will remain just a lot. Everybody that has tried to buy it, basically told them if I want to give it away, I give it to my children. So I've not gotten a fair offer on that property. So
you did understand that if the council does put it on the D&D list, you can get with Corey, and he can explain to you your two options.
We're
I
not
thought
threatening
so.
him, but yes, okay, Corey, yeah.
If there's no one else,
Yeah, Joe Backo, they did get with me, they're gonna email me the proposal, and all I gotta do is sign it.
Perfect. She's got some paperwork that'll be perfect.
Okay.
And ma'am, if you
So-
demo it yourself, you get a discount at the landfill. Was it 30%, Corey?
Yep. Since you're demoing it yourself, you'll
Seriously?
get 30% off the land.
Well, I already have my money going under my pillow, but that's gonna be a lot. Thank you. I'm good.
Thank you.
Okay.
is there anyone else? Seeing no one, I close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
Move to approve the resolution, a resolution declaring the structure on the property as a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins. Harris. Chapman. Burke. Hampton. Fortenbaugh. Johnson. Warren.
Yes. Was approved 8-0. Move on to 1405 Southwest E Avenue.
All right, 1405 Southwest E Avenue. This house we get a lot of calls on. It was a county-owned property, has since sold at the county resale. It is a fire damaged structure, has a lot of issues with squatters going in and out. As you can see here, there's a lot of stuff that's been pulled out. Here's some pictures of some of the fire damage up around the roof. I believe it's caught fire twice now in the last year. Again, more pictures of fire damage. Any questions?
Seeing none, I'll open a public hearing on property located at 1405 Southwest E Avenue. Anyone wishing to speak on this property, please come forward. Seeing no one, close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
I move that this, I move to approve the resolution declaring this structure on this property dilapidated public nuisance and authorize abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins. Harris. Chapman. Burke. Hampton. Fortenbaugh. Johnson. Warren.
Yes. Passed 8-0. Move on to address 1503 Southwest Texas Avenue.
All right, 1503 Southwest Texas Avenue, an active water account. This is another one that's been boarded up for quite some time. As you can see here from the pictures at the front, you're starting to have paint peeling off. There's a lot of decay around the roof. There's boards missing up under the overhang here. Here's another picture of the boards coming off in the overhang. And again, the backside boarded up, paint peeling off. This is another one we get a lot of calls on for not only the grass, but people walking around it and trying to get in. Any questions?
Seeing no questions, open a public hearing on 1503 Southwest Texas Avenue. Anyone wishing to speak on this property, please come forward.
I would like to.
Just need your name and address,
My name
please.
is Rodney Copeland, 733 Southwest Butterfield Drive, Lawton, Oklahoma, 73501.
Thank you.
I talked, which is my sister-in-law, I talked to her for the last couple of days. She said she is guaranteeing to paint the exterior, replace all the windows, new roof, renovate the interior, and complete landscaping. I've been knowing her for 40 years. And that's a guarantee. Her and her husband have been together as long as I've been married, so they both said they would do that. They live in Houston, that's why I'm doing this by proxy. It's because they couldn't be here today because they live in Houston.
Just make sure that they understand that when the council puts this on D&D, if they do that, that someone will need to get with Corey to find out what needs to be done as far as to stop the demolition or to get a discount if you decided to demo it yourself.
She's been at Sam's for about 30 years. He's a bus driver in Houston. They said they would do this. We went over this several times.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
Just want to say thank you for coming up on their behalf. Typically, what I'm about to do is what I normally do unless there's already progress. Just wanted to make that note, but I move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated and public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof and as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins. Harris. Chapman. Burke. Hampton. Fortenbaugh. Johnson. Warren.
Yes. Passed 8-0. Move on to, oh, I'm sorry. Yes, sir. Did you have a question?
Yes, is that, I don't understand the 8-0, is that good or bad? Okay, I like it. Okay, thank you.
We're on 15. Okay, 1507 Southwest Texas Avenue, Corey.
All right, 1507 Southwest Texas Avenue, inactive water count. As you can see here from the picture of the front, it is a boarded up structure. It's a lot of siding falling off, a lot of decay. It was unsecure at the time. As you can see here, somebody's gone in and started knocking out all the sheetrock from the inside. Again, it has junk and debris. You can see a board that was ripped off laying up against the wall here. Any questions?
Seeing none, I'll open the public hearing, 1507 Southwest Texas Avenue. Anyone here wishing to speak on this property, please come forward. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
Move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins. Harris. Chapman. Burke. Hampton. Fortenbaugh. Johnson. Warren.
Yes. Is approved 8-0. Move on to 1509 Southwest Texas Avenue.
Okay, 1509 Southwest Texas Avenue. As you can see here, it's an unsecure burnt structure. It's suffered significant fire damage. Here's a picture from one of the open entryways. Any questions?
Seeing no questions, open the public hearing on 1509 Southwest Texas Avenue. Anyone wishing to speak on this property, please come forward. Seeing no one, close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
Move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins. Harris. Chapman. Burke. Hampton. Fortenbaugh. Johnson. Warren.
Yes. It passed 8-0. Move on to 1510 Southwest Tennessee Avenue.
1510 Southwest Tennessee. This property has no active water account. As you can see here, it needs a little bit of roof repair. We do have some decay. As you can see here on the carport and on the roof. It is a boarded structure. We did have to board up the front door and one window. And again, here's another picture of the decay and general collapsing of that carport. Siding starting to fall off in some areas as well. Any questions?
Seeing none, open the public hearing, 1510 Southwest Tennessee Avenue. Anyone having the desire to speak on this property, please come forward. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
Move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins. Harris. Chapman. Burke. Hampton. Fortenbaugh. Johnson. Warren.
It's passed 8-0. Move on to 1512 Southwest Tennessee Avenue.
1512 Southwest Tennessee Avenue, inactive water count. Kind of the same thing as the last one. It's boarded up structure, a lot of decay. Again, carport starting to collapse in, a lot of decay going on. We did have to board this one up as well. It was unsecure at one time. City had to step in and board it up. And here's the backside where it's been boarded up. We do receive a lot of calls on this one as well for the vagrants. People are constantly trying to get in to houses on this particular little strip. Any questions?
No questions. I'll open a public hearing, 1512 Southwest Tennessee Avenue. Anyone wishing to speak on this property, please come forward. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
Move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Second. Got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins. Harris. Chapman. Burke. Hampton. Fortenbaugh. Johnson. Warren.
Yes. It's approved 8-0. Move on to 1515 Northwest Andrews Avenue.
All right. 1515 Northwest Andrews Avenue, inactive water account. This property we do get a lot of calls on. It gets broken into a lot. As you can see here, it was unsecure at the time of these photos, and it is a fire damaged structure. As you can see here, it suffered significant damage. Any questions?
Seeing none, I'll open the public hearing for 1515 Northwest Andrews Avenue. Anyone wishing to speak on this property, please come forward. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
Move to approve a resolution declaring the structure. Everybody can hear me. I move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins. Harris. Chapman. Burke. Hampton. Fortenbaugh. Johnson. Warren.
Yes. That was approved 8-0. Move on to address 1602 Southwest Oklahoma Avenue.
All right. 1602 Southwest Oklahoma Avenue, inactive water account. As you can see here from these photos, it is a boarded up structure. Again, with roof damage, siding falling off, general decay. It is completely boarded up, but this is a good picture of the side boarded up and siding falling off here. We do receive a lot of complaints on this one, but they've boarded up this one pretty well, and nobody's been able to get into this one yet. Any questions?
Seeing no questions, I open a public hearing for 1602 Southwest Oklahoma Avenue. Anyone having the desire to speak on this property, please come forward. Seeing no one, close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure? I'll make a motion.
Move
Oh,
to-
go ahead. I don't have it to read. Go ahead.
Move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins. Harris. Chapman. Burke. Hampton. Fortenbaugh. Johnson. Warren.
Yes, that was approved 8-0. Move on to 1607 Southwest 7th Street.
All right. 1607 Southwest 7th Street, inactive water count. As you can see here, it is a boarded up structure. This structure did have multiple fires in it, but they have boarded up since. You can see some of the smoke damage at the top of the window here where it's been boarded up, and again around the door here. And this is a little more smoke damage on the backside here. If I'm not mistaken, this one has burned twice as well, and again, more smoke damage there. Any questions?
No questions. I'll open the public hearing. 1607 Southwest 7th Street. Anyone having the desire to speak on this property, please come forward. Seeing no one, close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
Move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins. Harris. Chapman. Burke. Hampton. Fortenbaugh. Johnson. Warren.
Yes. That was passed 8-0. Move on to 1703 Southwest 6th Street.
All right, this is another fire damaged structure, 1703 Southwest 6th Street, inactive water count. As you can see here, there's a lot of fire damage around the windows and charring of the siding here. He has boarded it up some, as you can see from these photos. What I found interesting were these two extension cords that were running to the house behind it that I found. Any questions?
Seeing none, I'll open a public hearing, 1703 Southwest 6th Street. Anyone having the desire to speak on that property, please come forward. We'll just need your name and
My
address.
name is Anthony John West, and I live at 1707 and a half, 2 doors down from the house. I bought this house about not even 5 months ago from Jesse Nash. I seen the potential in it, and I wasn't the owner when the fire happened, okay? I've had it inspected by a contractor, all right? It is smoke damage, all right? I put windows in and stuff, probably did it illegally because I didn't have a permit. I had drywall torn out. The people that had helping me out tore all the electricity out of it and the piping's what I didn't want done, so I don't have no water account on that. I'm just asking permission today. 3 years of back taxes was paid on the house after I bought it. Now, proof right here. So it was 3 years of back taxes got paid. I'm just hoping that I can, rebuild that house.
That said, you do understand what we've said before
Yes,
as
sir.
far as getting with, if the council decides
Yes,
to
sir.
put it on the D&D, get with Corey and he can get you hooked up with
I have
permits.
windows. I have a bunch of windows. If anybody needs windows, they can have them because I can't use them.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak on this property? Do you have anything else?
No, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
That said, appreciate that, sir. If, I'll close the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the council?
I have a quick question for Corey. Corey, has he contacted you about this, or is this the first time?
This is our first time.
Okay. Move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof, set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins. Harris. Chapman. Burke. Hampton. Fortenbaugh. Johnson. Warren.
Yes. Passed 8-0. Move on to 1712 Northwest Arlington Avenue.
All right, 1712 Northwest Arlington Avenue. Inactive water count. This is a fire damaged structure here. We did attempt to secure this structure, but the wood's so charred it wouldn't hold a screw. As you can see here, it is suffered significant fire damage. Any questions?
Seeing none, I'll open a public hearing on 1712 Northwest Arlington Avenue. Anyone having a desire to speak on this property, please come forward. State your name and address.
Virgil Warwick, 1710 Northwest Arlington. I live next door to this house. It's been empty for about 8 years. It burnt about 8 years ago. It's been just setting and setting. Danny Sparlin owned it originally, and it's changed hands here in the last month twice. And nobody wants to do anything with it. Once they get in and see what a mess it is, all the electricity's gone, the roof caved in. The last fire we had, it burnt my privacy fence, burnt some windows up on my house, and started scorching the paintwork. So if it had been 30 minutes more, 10 minutes more before the fire department got there, I would have been burnt too. And what I'm asking is to get this house, I know it's on D&D, so it's going to be tore down eventually, but to get the house boarded up, and I'll let you use my nail gun on that hard wood. I've got one driving 22 shells. Okay? And that's what I'm asking for. We get a lot of traffic up and down my alley now. They put a Chiefs Inn down at the end of the block. And we get a lot of foot traffic, a lot of bicycle traffic up and down the alley. I've run people out of there. I've called the police several times. So all I'm really wanting to do is get it boarded up for now, because I know it'll be tore down eventually since it's on a D&D. But I need some kind of security for right now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Seeing no one else, I'll close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
I move to approve a resolution declaring this structure on this property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins?
He made a motion and we're voting right now, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can't park here, your assistant down here too.
Yeah, we'll make an announcement at the conclusion of the vote.
Hankins? Yes. Harris? Yes. Chapman? Burke? Hampton? Fortenbaugh? Johnson? Warren?
Yes. Passed 8-0. Move on to the next one with 1716 Southwest 13th Street.
1716 Southwest 13th Street, inactive water account, fire damage structure, as you can see here from this photo. Any questions?
Seeing no questions, I'll open a public hearing on 1716 Southwest 13th Street. Anyone wishing to speak on this property, please come forward. Seeing no one, close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
Move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins? Harris? Chapman? Burke? Hampton? Fortenbaugh? Johnson? Warren?
Yes. It passed 8-0. Move on to 1809 Southwest E Avenue.
All right, 1809 Southwest E Avenue. This is a pretty large structure. This structure's been boarded up since I've started with the city. We've had to board this structure up. As you can see here, there's siding starting to fall off. Again, around the fireplace, siding starting to fall off. General decay. This is the back side where people have been prying at it. Decay, boarded up windows. We do get a lot of calls on this one for illegal dumping and vagrants. Any questions?
Seeing none, open the public hearing on 1809 Southwest E Avenue. Anyone wishing to speak on this property, please come forward. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
I move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on this property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement therefore set by the resolution.
Got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins? Harris? Chapman? Burke? Hampton? Fortenbaugh? Johnson? Warren?
Yes. Passed 8-0. Move on to 2116 Northwest Bessie Avenue.
2116 Northwest Bessie Avenue, inactive water account. It is a fire damage structure, as you can see here from the roof. The roof has caved in. Here's a picture from the side just showing that roof and where it's caved in from all the fire damage. And again, another picture there. Any questions?
Seeing no questions, open a public hearing on 2116 Northwest Bessie Avenue. Anyone wishing to speak on that property, please come forward.
Corey, this says Ward 2, is that correct?
No, this one's actually Ward 1.
Okay.
Nanny.
I might add that the reason you hear us speak, I was going to tell everybody, but not everybody's here. But when we make the motion, it's usually a place in our ward, and we will have checked it or had contact with the person that owns the property. So that's why we're the ones that makes the resolution typically. Okay, now shut up.
There's no further if there's no further comments, I'll close the public hearing. Council, what you, and I will say that I only jumped in there earlier because I thought you might be tired, Miss Johnson. What's the pleasure of the council?
I move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Chapman? Burke? Hampton? Fortenbaugh? Johnson? Warren?
Yes. It passed 8-0. Move on to 2117 Northwest Pollard Avenue.
2117 Northwest Pollard Avenue, inactive water account. This is another one we receive a lot of calls on. As you can see here, you've got a lot of boards missing, general decay. This was a fire damaged structure. As you can see from this picture, they've since boarded it up, but you can still see some of the damage on the siding and the roof there. This is a picture of the back door, just general decay. Any questions?
Seeing none, I'll open the public hearing on 2117 Northwest Pollard Avenue. Anyone desiring to speak on this property, please step forward. And if could get your name and address.
Name is Earl Lucas, 3407 Northwest Williams. Council members, visitors, and Ms. Corey, I'm trying to make the time short. I'm here to buy some time to get this repaired. It belonged to my sister. She's deceased, and I just need some time to repair it. That's all I'm asking. I've talked to the permit people downstairs. They already went through and told me what I wanted to do, and they said if it's approved up here, they would go along with it. And all I'm asking from you is your time. Give me some time to get it done. It's windows. Got some haul-offs and stuff out inside. We had some unattended visitors in there, and it scorched it, so I'm gonna take care of that. I got means and all the stuff to haul it off and all that kind of stuff. And if I meet your requirements, I appreciate it. Give me the time. If I don't, I'll tear it down myself and get rid of it. That's all I'm asking.
Anyone else desiring to speak on this property?
The taxes are up on it. I've been keeping the taxes up on it. And I really need it for some ailing family members. I'm gonna put them in there when I get it repaired.
If there's no one else, I'll close the public hearing on 2117 Northwest Pollard Avenue. Council, what's your pleasure?
Sir, you do understand that you'll have time to do that when you pull the necessary permits, so you can get with Corey. And just because we put it on the abatement list today, that doesn't mean you don't have time. Okay? Okay. Well, they're willing to help you because we do want to get people in homes, so. I move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Chapman? Burke? Hampton? Fortenbaugh? Johnson? Warren?
Yes. Passed 8-0. Let's move on to 2212 Northwest Lindy Avenue.
That's Ward 1 also.
We're going to move on to 2212 Northwest 23rd Street. I'm sorry, Corey.
23rd Street, inactive water account. This one, we receive a lot of complaints on about vagrants. We're told that they're living in there and they go in and out. We've yet to catch them. As you can see here from the front, the property is overgrown. It has a lot of paint coming off. It's lacking protective treatment. Here's a shopping cart at one of the doors. It's a big sign that we got vagrant activity, some more decay, and then again another shopping cart that was hidden in the bushes here. Any questions?
Seeing none, I'll open a public hearing on 2212 Northwest 23rd Street. Anyone desiring to speak on this property, please come forward. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
This one is in Ward 1, I believe. So I move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on this property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins? Harris?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Chapman? Burke?
Yes.
Hampton?
Yes.
Fortenbaugh?
This
Johnson? Warren?
Yes, that passed 8-0. Now we move on to 2212 Northwest Lindy.
2212 Northwest Lindy. Inactive water account. It is boarded up, as you can see here from the front. The garage door is boarded up. Here's a close-up of that. Paint starting to peel off, lacking protective treatment. Sides boarded up here. You can see some mattresses that are laying on the side. Here we do receive a lot of calls on this one for junk and debris and for tall grass. More general decay here as well. Any questions?
Seeing none, open a public hearing on 2212 Northwest Lindy Avenue. Anyone desiring to speak on this property, please come forward. Seeing no one, council, I close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
Also, not Ward 1, 2. I move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on this property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
I've got a motion and a second. Call a roll, please.
Hankins? Harris? Chapman? Burke? Hampton? Fortenbaugh? Johnson? Warren?
Yes, that item passed 8-0. Let's move on to property located at 2213 Northwest 46th Street.
All right, 2213 Northwest 46th Street. Inactive water account, as you can see here from this picture, tall grass. We do receive a lot of calls on this one as well. You've got the gutters falling, eaves are starting to deteriorate. It is a boarded up structure. Here's some more general decay. Again, at the front, more general decay. We do receive a lot of calls on this one for grass and debris. Any questions?
Seeing none, open a public hearing, 2213 Northwest 46th Street. Anyone desiring to speak on this property, please come forward. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
This one really needs to come down. I drove by. It looks bad. Move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins?
Yes.
Harris? Chapman? Burke? Hampton? Fortenbaugh? Johnson? Warren?
Yes.
I went by him.
That passed 8-0. Move on to property located at 2506 Northwest Lindy Avenue.
2506 Northwest Lindy Avenue, inactive water account. As you can see here from this photo, it is a boarded up structure. Somebody's tried to kick in the bottom of the door here. You can, as you can see, we got general decay, pieces starting to fall off, and here's another picture of that with a little bit of water damage, it looks like, as well. Any questions?
Seeing none, open a public hearing on property located at 2506 Northwest Lindy Avenue. Anyone desiring to speak on that property, please come forward. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
I move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on this property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins?
Yes.
Harris? Chapman? Burke? Hampton? Fortenbaugh? Johnson? Warren?
Yes. Passed 8-0. Move on to 3141 Northwest Liberty Avenue.
All right, 3141 Northwest Liberty Avenue. This has inactive water account. This is a fire damaged structure. As you can see here, it also has just some general decay. This is a picture looking in the front door that was unsecure at the time. You can see some of the smoke damage and a little bit of the fire damage. This is a picture from the side where you can see a lot of the fire damage. The door, we were able to secure the door on site when these photos were taken. We just locked it and shut it. Any questions?
Seeing none, I'll open a public hearing on 3141 Northwest Liberty Avenue. Anyone having a desire to speak on this property, please come forward. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
Council, I move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion and a second. Call a roll.
Hankins?
Yes.
Harris?
Abstain.
Chapman? Burke? Hampton? Fortenbaugh? Johnson? Warren?
Yes.
Yes, to explain. This belongs to one of my patients, Speaker.
This home belongs to one of my patients.
Thank you.
And I see her a lot.
That
Used to.
that item passed 7-0 with one abstention. Move on to 3316 Northwest Columbia Avenue. Liberty Avenue.
Yeah, 3316 Northwest Liberty Avenue. Inactive water account. This is another one that we receive a lot of calls on, in particular for International Property Maintenance Code. This is the back of that property. As you can see here, there's a lot of siding falling off. We had to secure part of it there. The doors boarded up, general decay. Here's another picture of all that. Another window boarded up here. Any questions?
Is there a way we can get these poly carts taken away from the homes that have no water account?
Way ahead of you.
Oh, good.
Yeah, already contacted Jason at Solid Waste, and we gave him a list of all these. That way we get some of these taken care of.
Good deal.
I knew
I've been hearing about it all through this deal here. Okay. If the council doesn't have any questions, I'll open a public hearing. 3316 Northwest Liberty Avenue. Anyone desiring to speak on this property, please come forward. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
Council, I move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins, Harris, Chapman, Burke, Hampton, Fortenbaugh, Johnson, Warren.
Yes. That item passed 8-0. Just wanting to make sure. Let's move on to 4810 Southeast Avalon.
We're slap happy.
4810 Southeast Avalon. So this property's been boarded up for at least 6 years per state statute. If it's been boarded up consecutively for 6 months, it can be declared dilapidated. Our department's out here yearly, multiple times a year for the grass. This grass, for some reason, in particular in the back, just grows really, really, really fast. We get a lot of complaints on it. As you can see here, the city did have to board up the front door. The back is extremely overgrown with vines. You can't really even see the structure on the back. There's decay on the soffit and eaves. There's decay on the doors as well. Any questions?
No questions from the council. I'll open a
Corey, what are you requesting to be done on this? What was
it to be declared dilapidated?
What, I mean, could we run through the pictures again, please?
Sure.
So does it appear that it's still structurally sound?
It could be structurally sound. It has been boarded up again for at least 6 years. And per the state and state statute, any structure that's been boarded up consecutively for 6 months can be declared dilapidated and blight on that alone. Our department does mow this property multiple times a year. The back in particular, it grows crazy fast.
Have you ever talked to anybody?
Nobody's ever made contact with us on this
Okay.
one.
No other questions. I'll open a public hearing on 4810 Southeast Avalon Avenue. Anyone desiring to speak on this property, please come forward. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
I can't believe this is on my board. Move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Second. Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Hankins, Harris, Chapman, Burke, Hampton, Fortenbaugh, Johnson, Warren.
Yes, that item passed 8-0. Let's move on to the final address. 6712 Southwest Forest Circle.
So this one you guys have seen before, 6712 Southwest Forest Circle. We did find a clerical error on our part, and so just to be safe, we wanted to bring it back. The last time you saw it, there was a pontoon boat in the front of this house that's since been gone. As you can see, Here, the structure's got some heavy fire damage and tall grass. Here's a picture of some of that fire damage as well. Any questions?
Seeing no questions from the council, I'll move, no, I won't do that. I was reading. I'll open a public hearing for an address located at 6712 Southwest Forest Circle. Anyone desiring to speak on that property, please come forward. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council, this is in my ward. Somebody make the motion.
I move to approve the resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Hankins. Harris. Chapman. Burke. Hampton. Fortenbaugh. Johnson. Warren.
Yes, passed 8-0.
I'm tired.
Does staff have anything?
I too.
Mayor Pro Tem Council, the next scheduled D&D meeting will be September the 27th, as mentioned earlier, and I do have a suggestion at some point that I'll get with individual council members on how to possibly change the D&D process. John and I are still working on that, and there's actually a twofold process to this, which actually could possibly include council turning over this responsibility as allowed by state law to another governing body, an administrator or an administrative body, so the council could do that. So we'll bring that forth at some point in the future after we vet that. But I want to let y'all know, and I guess got to do some more research, okay?
Thank you. If there's no one else, I'd entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. Call the roll.
Harris. Chapman. Burke. Hampton. Fortenbaugh. Johnson. Warren. Hankins.
Says that the elected officials, the governing body here for the state of, what city of Lawton, Oklahoma, can designate an administrator or an administrative body to hear all of these hearings, right? And what that would do then is if you can turn over to TPC, you can make it to city manager, whoever y'all want, right? If they make a decision and that person doesn't agree with it, they can appeal it to city council, then all y'all have to hear is the appeals. So you wouldn't have to set the warrants.
So we torture somebody else instead. See, who do I not like, Don?
No. You're taking up 8 people's time, you can take up less people's time. Y'all could, again, designate, state law says you can do this. You can designate an administrator. Some cities have designated the code that the manager does. It doesn't make a difference to make it a body or person.
I lived in South Texas.
Or y'all can do the CPC. It doesn't matter. But the point of it is, y'all gonna have to sit here and listen